Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Wednesday, June 21st, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, something very important I want to talk about today. Silver. You guys know on my channel for the last, over 7 years, I've been talking about silver. And I predicted something called a deflationary spike event, and I predicted years ago what I figured would happen in the end with silver, the end game. And we'll talk about that some more today, but in my predictions, I predicted this end game coming a lot sooner. I didn't think it would take near this long. I didn't think that the silver manipulators would be able to hold the price of silver low nearly this long, and that the silver would hold out nearly this long. It surprised me. But now, the things I've been talking about in my show from years ago, I'm going to reiterate what they are and what's going to happen. And now it's much more relevant. The things I said years ago are much more relevant now. And one of the reasons why is because what the Fed is doing in this deflationary spike event, and what you can expect very soon. We see that Powell is maintaining a hawkish line, meaning that they want to continue with what they're doing to support the dollar. But you know, the Fed, they have no choice. They either support the dollar or they let the dollar go. And if they let the dollar go, they save the system. If they continue to support the dollar, they're going to have the system break apart. So they either support the system or they support the dollar. They can't do both. It just doesn't work. They're trying to walk that fine line, but what's going to happen very soon is, as they continue to tighten monetary policy, they're getting inconsistencies in the system that show themselves up as liquidity crises. And soon, this is going to spill out someplace. Can't tell you where exactly. It could be it's already happened within the banking system, but it's going to spill out someplace else. It could be in the real estate markets. It could be in the commercial real estate market, which is a very likely candidate. But it's going to spill out someplace else, and then they're going to have to fix the problem that they created with more money. Ultimately, in the end, there's no slowing this thing down. Ultimately, in the end, this thing ends in an inflationary event that's called a crack-up boom. But as they continue with this, they're putting a downward pressure on commodities, and they're creating a very strong dollar because there's a shortage of dollars. But this can't last forever. And what I forecast now, what I really forecast about silver years ago was, I said that at the lowest price, that the rich people are going to scoop it all up, what's left. And this process has been happening. We've been running into deficits with silver. The mines out there have been having a lot of difficulty, but they've been producing roughly 850 million ounces in a year under difficulty because ore grades are dropping. And if you guys don't know what ore is where they get the silver. It's the rocks that they get silver out of. When they first go into mining area, they got high quality, high grade ore. In other words, the rocks have a lot of silver in them. They take those first because that's the biggest profit. And then what happens is later, they go in and there's less ore in the rocks, but they mine that too. And this is what happens is ore grades drop. In other words, the amount of precious metals they get out of the rock is less later because they've taken all the good easy stuff first. It's kind of like a tree, you know, an apple tree. Picture an apple tree in your mind. You go and you pick the fruit. The low-hanging fruit's easier to pick. And you picked all the low-hanging fruit. What's left? Well, there's still apples there, but you got to climb a ladder to get them. Takes more work. Well, this is the way with silver and gold and other metals that they mine out. And silver oftentimes is a byproduct of other metals, but still the ore grades drop, and so does the quantity of silver that they get from those ore grades. So we got dropping ore grades, which requires more work for the miners, but they're still capable of producing in excess of 800 million ounces of silver a year, the miners. But what is the world using? Well, we were getting by on that 850 million ounces a year. The world was, and they weren't going into deficits. Now things have changed. The world's demanding more silver for industry, but not only that, is investment grade silver, the amount that they require to satisfy the market, has been going up tremendously. And they've been running into deficits, well in excess of 1 billion ounces a year, leaving them not enough is coming from mining supply anymore to satisfy the world. So whatever pool of silver they have out there to draw from, they've been drawing down from it. This year they're going to use, I think it's it's going to be like over over a billion, probably 1.4 billion or 1.3 billion, something like that this year is going to be the tally, way over the 850 million ounces a year that the mines produce. So what I said years ago is going to come true. I said that suddenly they're going to run out of silver for sale. Now I know there's a lot of silver sitting on the sidelines. People own silver. Stackers, you a lot of stackers out there. You guys, a lot of you might be stackers, and you say, well, I got silver. Yeah, but are you going to sell it for these kind of prices? Most everybody that's holding silver is waiting for silver to go boom, big time, before they're going to sell it and unload it. Well, that time is coming because we're going to run out of silver. It's as simple as that. The world is going to run out of silver. You can't go into deficit every year without all of a sudden it running out. And the last that's available, this is when the rich people are going to scoop it all up. And I've been saying this for years. When the silver starts to get tight and it starts to run out, that's when the price is going to be the lowest, and that's when the rich people are going to scoop it all up. And there's going to be a silver shortage. A real, honest-to-God silver shortage in the 1,000-ounce bars. It's coming. I've been forecasting it for years, but now it's finally getting close to actually happening. And silver is going to be unwanted, unloved, just before this happens. Just before the big one happens. And everybody who doesn't catch this train is going to be kicking themselves. Silver is going to be the precious metal. It's going to be the big one that people talk about for ages when this occurs. Because we're talking about silver going up to prices like you've never seen before. And this is coming. And I can tell you guys for a certainty it's coming because the mine supply, they're not getting enough money. First off, the miners, there's not enough of a profit margin there for them to be real interested in searching and hunting for new silver supplies, going in and doing exploration. There's not enough money there right now. They're just barely over mining costs at just over $20 an ounce. This is going to come down to it, and if you guys miss out on this, you are going to be so kicking yourselves. And if you've got some, hang on. But I mean, during this deflationary spike event, and I've explained what a deflationary spike event is for a while now, and the Fed is triggered this deflationary spike event. We're right in the middle of it right now. And at its conclusion, we're going to get the spike. And what the spike is what does a spike do? You know, you have a spike and you hammer it down into the wood, and it goes straight down into the wood. That's what a spike is. That's why I call it a spike event. Because we're going to see all the markets and everything spike downwards with a big problem that's going to occur very, very soon. A deflationary problem that's going to find its way someplace. It could be in the banking system. It could be in the commercial real estate market. It could be. It's going to occur because of the draining sound we hear right now by the Fed. This sucking sound, this draining sound, this hawkish line that they've been on. They're going to create this event. And then they're going to have to fix the event because it's going to start to crash the entire economy. So we got a lot to talk about here, and what we got to talk about is take a second look at silver. Take a look at the fundamentals. Take a look how the mines right now are working with poorer grade ore than they have ever been working with. Heck, they used to get like 17 ounces per ton of rock that they would smash. That's how it works, you know. They go in and they dig rocks out of the ground, and they put them on a rock crusher, and they put them on several rock crushers, and they smash them down into powder, and then they run that powder through, and they separate the metals from the powders that comes out of the rocks. When you're working with ore grades that are dropping like this, I mean, this is the bottom line, guys. The bottom line is it takes more energy to get less precious metals from every ton of ore. And it takes energy to crush those rocks. And that's the bottom line. And the bottom line is demand is increasing for silver. And not just investment silver, but demand is increasing. They got this whole thing that they're talking about that they want. New green energy this and all. What do you think they're going to do all that with? They're going to need silver. They're going to need copper. They're going to need... And these are limited resources in the Earth's crust. So there you guys go. You can take it to the bank, you know. So silver price today, what are we seeing? We've seen it just keeps going lower and lower. It's down 52 cents on the day at 22.63. But this is what always happens. When something's unloved and unwanted, just before it makes its big move to the sky, and everybody says, I never saw that coming. After it's over, and they're like, oh, I should have had some of that. Oh my gosh, look at the price of it now. And it's all got to do with the fundamentals out there. And this is what I've been explaining to you guys for the last couple minutes. The fundamentals, guys. Lowering ore grades into a deficit every year. They're consuming more silver, and they're taking more silver off the market than the mines are producing. These are the real fundamentals out there. And the price, look how low the price is. And everything else has went up in price. Everything in your life has went up in price. Amazingly went up in price. Except this stuff's been holding back because of 4 big bullion banks who have been just manipulating the price to the downside. And it always occurs on the NYMEX here in New York. You know, the COMEX, when they open up. There, look, see, New York, right there. Boom, the price is going down. They're still doing it with these paper short contracts. They're making a sale for you. For you. Just for you. Okay, let's take a look at cryptocurrency. Now, cryptocurrency is doing pretty good today. But you got to understand something, you know, about crypto. Crypto is a very modern invention, just invented in 2009. And it's an amazing invention, to tell you the truth. Absolutely amazing. But what really is it? It doesn't exist anywhere except on the internet. It doesn't exist in the real world as real physical form. So, just like fiat currency, it's just a digital ledger now. That's all your fiat. That's all your dollar is now. It's just basically a digital ledger. This is basically a ledger. That's all it is. All of these cryptos are just ledgers. They're automated, computer automated ledgers. They just keep a balance sheet. That's basically all it is. The balance sheet is the blockchain. The blockchain, the computer is able to hold each balance, each new balance that comes out, each time a new block is opened. And it contains that information of what the balance is. That's all it is, basically. But real silver and gold, that's a real thing that exists in the real world. But that doesn't mean this stuff can't go up. Look at this. It's really went up today. It's up to 29,310 for Bitcoin and Ethereum at 1833. Taking a look now at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it's down 128 points on the day at 33,925. The conclusion of this deflationary spike event is going to see the spike. That's going to be the conclusion of it. And that's the part why I call it a spike event, because everything's going to spike downwards. They're all going to hoard dollars. And the price of everything's going to drop. Commodities, everything. The market might drop an amazing amount. And we might be in the spike event right now, but the spike event, when it actually occurs, I put this chart on the max here, and I'll show you guys. At the start of the COVID crisis, we had a spike. This is a spike right here. Boom, this downward event. I think that's the one. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, that's the one right there. Right there it is. See that? That's a spike. And that's what I call spike event. It looks like a spike going down into the wood. And then on the other side, it comes back up again. It makes a spike. Well, that's what I'm expecting. Along in here someplace, I'm expecting this spike to occur. Caused by what the Fed's done. And then for them to fix it, when they fix it, we're going to see the markets, and we're going to see the same thing as when they fix this spike. I mean, this is just a pattern, guys. They're going to do the same thing all over again. It's just wash, rinse, repeat. But when that event occurs, this is going to be the last hurrah for the dollar, because when they fix this one, it's all over for the fiat currencies. I mean, we're already in profoundly high inflation. It's going to be all over for the dollar. Basically what I'm telling you guys is, when it comes right down to it, they have to choose. They're going to let the system completely collapse, or they're going to let the dollar collapse. They're going to let the dollar go in the end. And this is just a last-ditch, pitiful attempt to try to support the dollar. That's all this is. It's a nuisance is what it is. And they're going to create this deflationary spike event. Taking a look at crude oil today, 71.26. It's up 7 cents on the day so far. Taking a look at bonds and rates, and we're seeing rise in yields. Taking a look at the U.S. 10 years at 3.78, and it's up 5.8 basis points. And the U.S. 30 years at 3.87, and it's up 5.3 basis points up. So we're looking at rising yields on the long end of the yield curve. U.S. dollar index today is at 102.63 and going along sideways. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Hang on to your silver, guys. Don't let them shake you out of the tree. Because on the other side of this thing, silver's going to be the place to be, I think. Bitcoin, don't know. But I do know the fundamentals behind silver. And silver is going to be the place to be in the end. Silver is going to be the big winner. That's my opinion on it. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.